Hola chicos, en este video vamos a mirar las palabras del día, semana 3, unbelievable, we're already on the third week. Y esta es una explicación de los usos y las familias de palabras. Y esto es importante porque estas palabras de semana 3 son un poco más avanzadas. We have some more advanced words that I think warrant a little extra attention. La primera palabra no es tan difícil. El año, hay 365 días en un año. No es una palabra muy difícil. Nosotros ya sabemos esta palabra. Talking about families of words, relating it to English, you can think of a word like annual, which is yearly, and that's sort of where that comes from. You see that an there that goes with that as well. Also, fun fact, a lot of people like to not put the tilde on the end, which belongs there. Well, if you do this, this word is now a scientific word, or I guess a word used in talking about parts of the body called anus. So if you have todos los años, you're saying all the anuses. So be careful with that. Año, please put the tilde on there. It's important. Bueno, la próxima palabra, venir. Este es un verbo muy importante. Este verbo quiere decir to come, y es un verbo bastante común. The problem with this verb is it is a little bit irregular. It's a G verb, and it also is an IE stem change. So in the present tense, we need to remember that the conjugation of this verb in the yo form is vengo, and then it changes to vienes, viene, venimos, venís, and vienen. So nosotros sabemos que este verbo aquí, it's a boot verb, kind of half a boot verb, and then in the yo form it's got this G in it. So we got to remember that that's a common verb to use. In the imperfect tense, it's completely regular, and we'll talk about the preterite tense later. Próxima palabra, sino. It's a great word to know. It means rather and sometimes but. But really, our word for but is pero. No, and that's the word we're going to continue using. Sino is used for the word rather. If you want to compare two things, you use this word. So you could say, for example, este bolígrafo no es rojo, sino verde. And what that's saying is this pen is not red, rather it is green. Or you can also say S in there if you wanted to. It doesn't need to be in there. So it's different than pero, and it's going to work differently. You know, it's really your rather. Not as in I'd rather, but rather in a sentence like this one here. Sino, great word, conjunction. Próxima palabra, la palabra además. This is a great word to use when you want to add more information. Inside this word, you see this más, which means more. Now, I don't remember what the translation says on the feed, but this to me is like saying, it's kind of like saying what's more, or also. And it's like you want to add something to the sentence. You want to like say something else in the sentence, and you use this word además. So you're saying, he's a nice guy. He always works hard, and what's more, he always shows up on time. So it's a great word for that. This más will help you understand sort of how it means, or how we use it, because it's like saying what's more, or also. So that's about it with that word there. Próxima palabra, atropellar. Atropellar is the word for, it's like, to run into, can also mean to run over. I don't have too much to talk about with this word besides it's a completely regular verb, so it's conjugated regularly in both the present and the imperfect tense. AR verb, atropellar. It can mean, like I said, to run over, or actually to run into as well. To trample. It's kind of a violent word, really, now that I think of it. And not a super common one. This isn't one that I'd really worry about knowing and using all the time. Probably the least important one on the list. Próxima palabra, acogedor. These are words that aren't taught very much in school. This word is the word for dustpan. I mean, it's a common word in the house, something that you use. But I want to talk about families of words here. This is a really good example to talk about a couple things. First of all, inside this verb, this noun, we see this. Coge comes from a verb, the verb coger. Coger means to grab or to take. And so this is a part of this word because what does a dustpan do? It grabs stuff. When you sweep something up, it's going to grab things. And so we put this a here, acogedor, and then we use this dor. And what this dor does in Spanish, this suffix at the end of a word, is it means in English. Now, obviously we call this a dustpan, not a grabber, but this is what this dor does. If it's feminine, it changes to dora. So for example, the speaker, using a very simple word, the verb hablar, the speaker would be el hablador, no? The fighter, the bullfighter, which is literally the killer, comes from the verb matar in Spain, in Spanish-speaking countries, el matador. So keep that in mind when you see words like this, that DOR means Bueno, la próxima palabra tenemos varios. Esta es una palabra muy común. It means various, and it's an adjective, and this is a kind of different kind of adjective because it ends in an S. Because usually when you talk about various, you're talking about a bunch of different things. So for example, yo tengo varios, no sé, yo tengo varias camisetas. There we change it to the present tense. I have various t-shirts. I have a bunch of varied t-shirts, different kinds. It is a relatively common word, I guess not as common as muchos and some of the other adjectives that we see, but nonetheless, una palabra muy común. So, en la clase de mañana, voy a chequear los screencast notebooks. I want to check them, and I'm looking to see that you guys have 7 sentences using these verbs the right way, using these words the right way, I should say. Also, on your sentences, you guys know that below them you have the Spanish, and then you're going to have the translation into English. So please follow your regular setup, and tomorrow in class I'll take a look at those, and you can consider that your screencast notebook homework for the evening. Muy bien, muchas gracias por su atención. Nos vemos en clase. Hasta luego.